Hi, this is attorney Joe McPeak with Virtuoso Criminal and DUI Lawyers. Today I'm going to talk about California Penal Code 1203.099. This is a really important statute that changes the game in terms of domestic violence sentencing in California. Now, you may already have looked at our previous videos where we talked about sentencing for domestic violence under California Penal Code 1203.097. This is the statute that sets forth a host of sometimes complicated and burdensome sentencing terms for somebody found guilty of a domestic violence offense in California. They're often referred to as domestic violence or DV terms, or other practitioners might just call them 097 terms. You may remember that under that statute, a defendant convicted of a domestic violence offense will be required to complete a 52-week domestic violence class, make donations to a battered women's shelter, and complete a period of uncompensated community service. California Penal Code 1203.099 is, it's working towards creating some exceptions to that. Under section 1203.099, some counties, specifically mentioned in the statute, are allowed to deviate from these apparently mandatory conditions of domestic violence sentencing. Multiple counties set forth in the statute, for example, in Napa, San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, Santa Cruz counties, and Yolo counties. These counties are authorized to have defendants convicted of domestic violence offenses be placed into programs that deviate from 1203.097. And in deciding whether or not a defendant convicted of domestic violence should get a different type of sentence, presumably a more lenient sentence than what 1203.097 mandates, the courts and the probation department are supposed to consider a bunch of factors about the defendant's history, about the risk of reoffending, and so forth. The takeaway is this. The apparently mandatory language of 1203.097 may be becoming less and less mandatory, depending on what county you're in when you're fighting a domestic violence case, and also depending on what, if anything, the legislature adds to the statute. At the very least, it makes things very interesting and I think opens the door for maybe some creative negotiations and sentencing arguments for people who are found guilty of domestic violence offenses. Obviously, the goal in any sort of case like this is a dismissal or a not guilty verdict. However, it's also important to know what types of penalties are at stake at the beginning, middle, and end of the case. And California Penal Code section 1203.099, at least for certain counties, shows us that the potential sentence for someone convicted may actually be more lenient than the norm. Thanks for listening, and feel free to check out more videos like this on our YouTube channel, our Instagram page, and our firm website. Thanks, and stay safe out there.